we can't afford the luxury of messing around with immorality. This week alone, at home and abroad, I've been battling with men who are justifying having another relationship. And they are, using different, I didn't sleep with her. What are you doing with her? What are you doing with her? There's another woman in your life that has become an issue between you and your wife. And you are saying, my wife doesn't understand. What should your wife understand? Please tell me. What is there to understand? I am your wife. This woman is not your wife. And the things you are saying with her, in fact, the one that paid me the most, I guess the guy couldn't take it anymore. He said, Pastor, I need to see you. I said, what is it? He said, it's like your sermons, you are piercing me. I can't cope. So I said, let me come and confess. He said, if you ask my wife now, she will swear that in all the years that we have been married, that me, her husband, have never, but sir, I have had 2 other women apart from my wife. I followed him home this past week to go and beg him. It's not something I like to do. In fact, I spent the night in prayer, asking God to help me for that meeting. Thank God for the woman. She said, I can't leave him now. I have to forgive him. And I said, thank God for you. I was strengthened by that woman's faith. But gentlemen, if there's anybody here listening to me, I can assure you, extramarital affairs is like driving on Third Mainland Bridge before it was completed. Remember that time? You must come and articulate. Imagine somebody that said it's going forward. Where is it going to end up? I hope you remember. They will tell you, don't go past this place because there's nothing there. The stretch that gets down at Oworoshoki did not exist. If you were in Lagos at that time. So if you say no, what do you mean? I'm a man, I have money, and you continue going. Where will you end up? That's the story of immorality. Many years ago, that the Jew told us the story. I was in Port Harcourt then when he came for that program. I was talking about immorality. He said, imagine that you are very hungry, you are starving, and then you enter into the house, and they set the table for you. Because you are hungry, just open. Instead of pounded yam or whatever your face, poo. He asked us, how many of you will eat? Of course, nobody will eat. And he said, that's how it is. So don't tell me that they set you up. I don't know how it happened. You didn't do it on the street now. I mean, you probably are the one that paid for the room. Oh, so what are you talking about? You paid for the room now. In fact, me, I'm giving up. I've told myself that anywhere I go, somebody knows me. So I don't even, the other day I went to a hotel. We were to have a wedding, 7 a.m. This is our room, you can't be short. I told my wife, I don't want to, stress. Let's go come to Lagos, stay in a hotel. So on Saturday morning, my wife had gone, she did the cake, she had gone to the venue. So I was just walking around the hotel. One man just came to me. He said, good afternoon, sir. Hey, good morning, sir. I greeted him. He said, I'm your member. I smiled to myself. As if I had come here now with Peperepe, thinking that nobody knows me. He says, I'm your member. And there was one day I went to Orioke to go and pray. I went to my dear Pastor Lane and Pastor Paul. When I came back, one boy came to meet me in church. He said, Pastor, I saw you. I said, saw me where? He said, Pastor, thank God, where I saw you was a good place. I said, what were you doing there yourself? He said, he went to pray. Now the boy, for the small boy, he said, but Pastor, you didn't see what I saw you. In other words, don't go to any place where you think nobody will see you. It's the same for you. Don't be deceived. People have been caught who went to Dubai. They thought because they're in Dubai, nobody will see them. They still brought the matter to church. I still had to settle it. It happened in Dubai. So if you are here and you are still trying to defend the text message, or her name is saved as John, meanwhile she's Falake. Repent. Next slide. What what do you do with your friends? You collaborate, support each other, mutual assistance, and then if you really get it right, you'll be united. All right? Oftentimes, what happens is that when people offend us in church, we draw a line. When they offend us outside, we forgive them. Because in our mind, those ones are unbelievers, so they can do wrong. But here we are perfect. I mean, are we perfect? Well, how do we relate to each other? As if we are perfect. So when they offend us outside, we are quick to forgive and move on. But inside here, what do? X, bold. Block them. All right? So I encourage us to, there's no way we will play together that Sam will not touch our body. Is that not so? Yes. I'm talking to myself. Me on a good day, stay on your lane. I'm telling you. But I've changed to the point where sometimes my wife complains. So what will I do? I'm a pastor, I can't afford to just, if I change them the way I did, there will be nobody left. Alright? So with your peers, you must have a close, not too wide a circle, 4 or 5 people that you can share your heart with. Are you getting it? Men you can pray with. Men you can connect with. The other day, a friend of an old student, a schoolmate, called me. It's a big boy in the back. It's about retiring. And he called me and said, my guy, I'm retiring and I thought I should speak with you first. I was touched. It takes a lot for your mates to recognize that, you can do this. But that's the quality of relationship that you want to build. There must be 1, 2, 3, 4 people that you can run to. You can come and say, boy, things are, it's okay, I'll give you 100. Do you get it? You don't have to, you doesn't have to write letter. Yeah, no. Just enough to say, things are tough. How far? I don't know. Okay, I'll send you. Depending on where you guys are. Listen, there is a job of 10,000 naira per month. There is a job 100K per month. There is a job 1 million per month. I hope you know. It's levels. There is a place you can be. I can just give you 10K without asking. There's a place you can be 100K. There's a place God will put you 1 million. Do you get it? Because you know that, this is my guy. I know you will step up if it's my turn. Alright? Next slide. I like this word. Camaraderie. Mutual trust and friendship among people who spend a lot of time together. Guys, we need friends. Not the kind of friends that our wives quarrel with. Part of the battles I fought this past week is a man who all his friends are unbelievers, both male and female. And I'm like, I don't get it. How do you sustain this? You get it? When he's in his elements, when he's with his guys, something is wrong. That man is like a Christian, and his Christianity is like icing sugar. The real cake is the word. Do you get it? So, it's like, some people are like, there are people who are, oh God. I know a young man. I hope he has changed. He has a wife, he has children, and he's gay. So, the wife and children is a perfect shield for who he really is. So, when you are a man, as you are here now, be asking yourself, wait, it's true. Who are my friends? Bros D. Shege. Who is Shege? It's like they know that God is there. They know God is good. So they come to church, they come to church just to, but the real man is when he's with Shege. Man, man, bastard. A brother. One day I was traveling because Abuja. I'll never forget that day. We're remote land. I'm a party, man. Bastard. It took everything in me not to say, can you stop that, please? I said, behave yourself. You are pastor in your church. You are not pastor on the plane. So just carry your bag. At best, pray for him. Weary. I'm what to do. Pastor. Man. I'm shaking. And his voice was loud. So yes, have a few close friends, but I hope not that time. Are you getting it? It will be difficult. I know a guy who was in the fashion business, all right? And then he used to say that his customers, unless he goes to the nightclub. Are you getting it? And I said to him, it's difficult to mix oil and water. Maybe God has given you a new way to do it, but the best I know is not possible, sir. To the glory of God, now he's a pastor. And he's still making sales in his business. I used to be in a particular province or state, like it was then in Redeem. And my leader then, our senior pastor, he lost my respect. All right? And I said, no. The way this guy is going, from little I know of the Bible, this is not the way of God. But I then said to myself, to remain there and to criticize him and to undermine him is also not godly. Are you with me? So I left. That's what I did, I left. In fact, I left so badly that for 6 months I didn't go anywhere. I just stayed at home. I was already an area pastor. All right? But you see, a man must have his own values. You must have your own boundaries. Nobody. I respect my bosses, no doubt. But there's no boss I've worked with who has tried to cross my boundary. I didn't tell. Doesn't matter who you are. I've done this when I was working. I've done this in ministry. Oh, senior pastor, with all due respect, sir, but no, sir, I'm not going to do that, sir. He said, yeah. I said, no, sir, with all due respect, sir, but I won't do that, sir. He was shocked. He was shocked to his bone marrows. I said, sir, with all due respect, sir, but no, sir, I won't do that, sir. He said, why? I said, because, sir, this crosses my boundary, sir, with all due respect. He's still my very good friend today. People think that if they deny themselves, they will endear themselves. No, you don't. If the person you are working with is a person of, he will respect you more. I told him, I said, no, sir, I won't do it, sir. You sent me on an errand. I asked you for the criteria. I followed the criteria. We've gotten the result. Now you want me to go back and say that's not what happened. Sorry, sir, I can't do that. Yes, I know you are the so and so. And I respect that position. But, sir, on this one, I'm ready to throw in the towel, sir. We are still the best of friends today. Because I guess he understood. You know when you have a dog, and it's your dog shouldn't bite you now. Yes or no? But there's a way you will do with your dog. You do what? He must have told himself, I think I have pushed this ball. Because truly and sincerely, in all the years I've known him, he has never once. You get it? And this thing is arguing about, it's not money. And this thing is arguing about can cost him promotion. If he can risk all of this, then he must have a point. I guess he must have thought about it. Are you getting it? So you owe your boss loyalty, but loyalty to the point where what he's asking you to do does not abridge your own values, assuming, of course, that you have values worth dying for. I hope you're getting me. Yes, I'm assuming that you are men of integrity. I'm assuming that you are forthright men. I'm assuming that you are true believers. All right? And so our values should not be too far from each other. Is that not so? Yes. Next slide. What do you owe your boss? Diligence, respect, effective communication, and competence. Again, to the glory of God, whether it's ministry or work, we will call it. There's nowhere I've worked that I cannot go back to now. There's no boss I worked under. In fact, the other day I bumped into my last boss. We met at the hotel. And we spent the next, my wife was now wondering, where are you? We spent the next 10, 15 minutes chit-chatting. That wouldn't have been possible if I had, you know what I mean? Yeah. I said to people, even on this our job as PICP, etc., etc., the best way I am serving than a Jew is by doing a good job where he has put me. I tell the workers, I said, when they say workers meet at 7 a.m., have you ever wondered to yourself, okay, I'm the one that is asking you, why did you come late? Have you ever wondered who asked me that question? Pastor Adeboye may never come to this church. You know, Pastor Brown, my immediate boss, may never come to this church. But yet, I'm here 7 a.m. before you every day. Have you not wondered what is motivating me that I'm not coming late? Meanwhile, I am your boss and you are seeing me, you are coming late. My own boss are invisible. Are you getting it? It's because I understand this. Of course, ultimately, our boss is God, isn't he? Yes. My brother was talking about, his children taking some parts of him. I was talking to my daughter yesterday. She was, her place of work. Secondment. He was seconded to another branch, blah, blah, blah. And then there was not an opening, and her boss was fighting for her to come back. I said, it's because you are good. They won't fight for you to come back if you don't know what you are doing. I said, it's because you are good. And that her boss is hard. She must have seen that when this young lady left, there was a vacuum. To the point where, because my daughter inspired her to use this style to make her not to leave. Because I think that is better for her. She's so angry with them. And I just use this style. I think the boss also began to sense that she was leaving. So the woman invited her to her house. They had lunch together. In my mind, I said, this your boss must be smart. But which boss will invest in a subordinate if that subordinate is not diligent? And funny enough, because she's my daughter, she too doesn't take nonsense. So that boss doesn't like her all the way because she will fight. My daughter is the kind of person that will speak back respectfully. Are you getting it? If you cross your line. But I guess they understand that she has values, but yet she's diligent, she's competent at her job. This is what your boss should say about you. Alright? If your boss has to, when you started working, when you do a memo, they correct. 2 years after, they're still correcting your memo, something is wrong with you. I'm telling you the truth. When you join the office, they correct your memo. When you write, what do you do with the bank? Credits to write to the credit committee. What do you call that? You write, submit to credit committee so they can approve or reject a loan. You are a marketer or whatever. In the beginning, they will correct you and say, no, do this. 3 years down the road, they are still correcting you. Something is wrong. When our promise was started 5 years ago, the gist was that it was second 11 of Lagos Public School. And I told them, I said, we are the ones that we either prove them right or prove them wrong. To the glory of God now. You know what Pastor Brown says about us? He says we were born with teeth. Do you know what that means? When somebody was born with teeth, that should tell you how far God has taken us in 5 years. So diligence and competence and co is not only what you use when you are working, it's also what you use for the work of God. Next slide. Now I ask a question. What if your boss is a woman? And you know yourself as an African man. Someone has said, God forbid, that is birth already. Say, God forbid. How can my boss be a woman? What if she's a woman? Should it matter? If she's competent, if she's respectful, should it matter? It shouldn't. Should it matter whether your boss is a woman or not? At least you will know I'm in the program. Are you getting it? It shouldn't matter. Particularly in the professional setting. Because some men have challenges with this. And so it hinders their promotion, hinders their progress. And they will be praying and fasting. Is that not so? Say that my Mrs. So and so, I don't know, she's a very useless woman. No, but Father, in the mighty name of Jesus. Bible says there's neither male or female in Christ. Is that not so? God will not support you in your in your myopic view of life. No. God will not put his daughter down because you refuse to acknowledge a woman as a human being worthy of respect and your subordinates. What kind of boss would you like to be? To the left or to the right? This is the left. This is the right. What kind of boss would you like to be? To the left or to the right? What kind of boss are you now? Don't answer. But at least you know. Look again. What kind of boss are you now? Somebody is saying, no, I'm somewhere in between. Next slide. The man and those that report to him. Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 to 4. Do not out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interest, but each of you to the interest of others. Next slide. What do you owe those who report to you? All right? It's not much. You owe them clear communication. All right? Let them know exactly what it is that you are asking them to do. Don't assume that they can read your mind. This happens a lot with small business owners. You have a shop, you have an office, you hire somebody. By the second day, are you crazy? Don't you know you should open the office by 7 o'clock? Don't you know that when people come, you say, good afternoon, man? Must I teach you everything? The poor child is confused. I hope you know that orientation is not something you do only in big companies. Orientation is what you do when another human being joins an existing system. So if what you do is you are selling tire, when that boy comes from the east, or from the west, or from the north, or from the south, you will tell him, this is how we do it here. That will save you and that fellow months of quarreling and fighting. Clear communication. You owe them empowerment. I always say something. One of the major attributes of a leader is to remove obstacles from the way of those coming behind you so they can maximize their potentials. As a leader, that's one of your most critical responsibilities. Free the way so that those coming behind you can be the best that they can be. You provide guidance and you create a supportive work environment. All right? Create a supportive work environment. Don't, you know how people say they suffered? And then, yes, I understand the need for people to, it's like, so my boy is 9, he'll be 10 next year, and he's going to the boarding house next year, all right? I started working on his mind, preparing him. From January, we're going to enter what I call boarding house mode. He'll start washing, he'll start doing this, he'll start, are you getting it? So I understand the need to, particularly when we talk about our children, for them to experience a bit of, it's like my two of my daughters. I discovered that they can't cook, they can't do this. I just bundled them, went to pay one woman who runs all these places, taught them how to cook, took them to the market. All right, they went to price things in the market. So I understand the need for experience. Are you getting it? But it's no use for you to punish people. It's like when we were in secondary school. When you were a junior, you hated those seniors. You now became a senior and they hailed you as the devil's younger brother. Why? You didn't like it when you were a junior. So why should you now repeat it for those one behind you? All right? So create a conducive work environment. Next slide. Very quickly, 6 ingredients of a healthy husband-wife relationship. I know we had talked about this thing, but it came back to me again, and I thought I should quickly run it through. Let's go through it. 6 ingredients. Let's go through quickly. Number 1. Next slide, sir. Mutual respect. Husband and wife should respect each other. You see, this is the one place where I hope there's nothing burning. Okay. This is the one place where I remember Babangida. He lives to the left, he lives to the right. Is that not so? I always say that let's take a bit of our culture, respect, and honor, which is wonderful, which we need, and add a bit of the Oyibo culture, whereby they recognize the value of women. You know, I'm a Benin man. Strictly speaking, in my place, women have very minimal rights. All right? I remember when I was growing up, my grandfather's last wife used to call me her husband. Because in the hierarchy, I'm senior to her. Why? Because I'm the son of the man's first daughter. Can you imagine? My grandfather's last wife. As a child, he used to, she would call me husband and be showing me respect. And I used to wonder, oh, this man is old, she's older than me. But that's how we are. Are you getting it? Yes. Now, is that a good thing? Do you think that's a good thing? Just because she's the fourth wife, that is a baby, I'm not senior to her. So, where am I going? You see, when we say mutual respect, the African man thinks we are saying the wife sits on his head. No. We're just saying value her as a human being that has intelligence and that can contribute. That's what it means to have mutual respect. So you don't always have to be right because you are the man. Do you get it? You must have remembered when you were in school, some girls would have beat you in some subjects, yes or no? What does that tell you? Intelligence is not tied to your gender. All right? Next slide. Communication. Open and honest communication is crucial. Effective communication involves actively listening to each other, expressing your thoughts and feelings clearly, and finding solutions together. Oh, God bless that family that husband and wife can sit down and talk. But guess what? There are not many families like that. Most times, what happens? Is either the man is shouting, the woman is shouting, the man is quiet, the woman is quiet. Are you getting it? If you are here and you and your wife can habitually sit down and trash it out, oh, God bless you, sir. If you are here and you can do that, then God bless you. You have achieved a, Olympic gold medal. I can tell you this because as pastor, I counsel. I counsel with them. I see them. It's difficult. All right? Next slide. Trust and honesty. He said trust forms the foundation of any strong relationship. Being honest, reliable, and maintaining trustworthiness strengthens the bond between spouses. The man I went to beg the wife, the following day I called him and said, how far? He said, sir, she's still telling me that she doesn't understand. It's like somebody that is, her head is turning. Do you know the funny thing? This week, a few days before this thing came out, there was something on social media. Somebody said, who can trust a man? And the woman wrote and said, I can trust my man. Hey, Jehovah. She said she beat her chest and said, me, I can trust my man. Not knowing that her man. So I told the man, I said, sir, please, I beg you, don't give this woman 1 week and tell her, what is it? After all, I've confessed. I said, don't even try that. I said, number 2, now, without her asking, you have to be answering. When you are going and tell her, I'm going to number 4A. Are you getting it? When you get there, say, I've arrived at number 4A. I said, because trust right now is gone. So to rebuild it, you have to do 1 block on 1 block on 1 block. And for God's sake, sir, don't even dream of saying, what is it? I told you I stopped that. I told you last month, blah, blah, blah. It may take more than 1 month to. Because I know that's what will happen next. The man will now turn it. Is that not so? I'll be blaming the woman. Saying, Pastor, but I know what I did was not right. But after I told her, forgive me, she should forgive me now. You know that's how Nigeria is. They will hit your car. If they beg you, by the 3rd time, they say, what is it? It's not a car. And people will not join the person and say, guy, it's true, it's not a car. And, Say, is it not car? What is it? They even told you sorry. You are, is it not car? Now the guilty party has become the offended party. That's Nigeria for you. Say, is it not car? After all, nobody died now. Is it not car? If you are not careful, before you know what's happening, you'll be the one that will beg you for your life. Alright? So please do everything to build trust. Alright? And you know, we that we don't talk much, men. Don't expect your wife. You know, okay, this one's in England. My phone has been ringing off the hook. The boy says to me, I don't know what's wrong with my wife. This girl, she's like a sister to me. I said, but she's not your sister. Like a sister and sister, are they the same? Please, are they the same? And I told him, what are you doing with this like a sister? Leave her now. I collected her key because she said she made my money. I said, yeah. And the boy is, he's arguing as if he has a case. Your wife says, this other woman, I don't want her anymore. She's a threat to her life. And you are telling me that woman gave you her house key so that you can go to her house and go and collect money. And you don't know why your wife should be angry that you are going to the woman's house to collect money. Please ask me, what is money? And the man is angry that his wife is angry. I wanted to ask, did they put something in my money? Yeah. So of course now, the woman doesn't trust the man anymore. And once there's no trust, it's tough. It's tough. It's like, when Peter walked on water, there was trust. The moment there's no trust, it's sinking straight. So do everything to win your spouse's trust. Are you getting it? And one way to do that is by being open. The story of a young man. He lives in Mexico, works in America. So to save costs, he does Airbnb. So he stayed in this woman's house, Airbnb. Airbnb can be dangerous. So after some time, the woman started liking the man. Are you getting it? To the point where one night, she told the boy, today's today. You know what the guy did? He called the wife, right there on the phone, put it on video, and started screaming, say, I'm in trouble. My landlady says today is today. Are you getting it? That's how God saved him. The wife prayed with him. It's not easy. That's not, you are men now. You have left the house for 2 months or for 2 weeks, and you see flesh. There you go. Unless God helps you. I'm telling you. The guy had to call the wife. Say, babe, trouble, fire on the mountain. The way my landladies behave, I don't know what tomorrow will look like. I'll survive it. The following morning, check out of that place. That's a man that has built trust. Some of you, your wife has to do CIA to know what's happening in your life. CIA. And I hacked his phone. I didn't know people can hack phone. I'm telling you. This woman hacked the husband's phone. To the point where everything happening on his phone is happening on her own phone. And the poor guy, he doesn't know how it happened. So, you know what he said? He said, I'm not marrying again. I had to beg him. I said, bro, don't pray. He said, Pastor, how can you imagine? The woman said, yes. What are you doing with that woman? He said, which woman is that? She would start calling their names. And the man would be arguing. That's what that baffles me. He was arguing with her. So, to save his face, I would tell the woman, please excuse us. Sometimes you want to help the man too. If I should tell him the whole truth with the word, when I'm gone, he's in trouble. So I told the woman, excuse me. I said, bros, you the craze. You to look at them, you the craze. How you carry a woman on your house? On your matrimonial bed? It's not madness. I asked him, I said, is your wife not satisfying you? He said, what is your problem? Couldn't answer. Some of these young men, they have marriage is just another, how can you bring a woman? Trust and honest. Hypertension and co sometimes, this is where it starts from. Either on your side or on her side. Because, as I'm here now, it won't cross my wife's mind that this is not where I'm coming to. Do you understand? That I'm supposed to, maybe my girlfriend is traveling, so we'll just agree that we'll quickly meet. Then I now told her this to her. It won't cross her mind. Next slide. Emotional support. A husband and wife to provide emotional support to each other, particularly during challenging times. Being there for one another, offering comfort, showing empathy. And the woman will say, he couldn't even say sorry. He didn't even ask me, how are you? You know, sometimes we hold back those things to punish the other person. Is that not so? Yes. Please don't do that. You know, so how are you? Yes, we have a quarrel. But she's pregnant with your child. And she has told you that she's having some pain. That's not the time to remember that you are quarreling. No. Put your quarrel and say, are you okay? Are you fine? Do we need to go to the hospital? I don't know if you are getting it. Because that quarrel is part of it. If this goes out, you are in trouble. But some men don't understand that. They will still be doing, you know. And some of you have PhD in, what do they call that? The malice. PhD, Doctor Emeritus. You can keep malice. 1 month you are just starting. Say, me and this woman, I will show. I will show. Unknown to you, you are showing yourself. Alright? If you're like that and you have that, you know, malice comes easily to you. It's not the Spirit of God. I always ask people, which spirit is sustaining this anger? Do you know? You know, my brother offended me. Today is Saturday. Next, I'm still angry. Can that be the Holy Spirit? And the Holy Spirit say, continue the anger, son. Hold it. Don't let it go. Cherish it. And when you sin, unleash. Can that be God? Won't you ask yourself and say, out of me in Jesus' name? Don't you understand? The spirit that can make you to be angry with your wife 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, can that be the Spirit of God? What does that tell you? Another spirit is living in you. Do deliverance for yourself. For some people are very happy. You know, I'm sure you said they lose weight, God don't catch them. They lose weight, right? That's good. I told that I will deal with that. You want to tell the pastor that I offended you, he will say, I will show you. Me and you, I will show you. Me, I will. There's a couple I know now. This foolishness, they're separated now. The man is suffering, the woman is suffering. Sometimes now we preach, the woman will cry. Because you can see how foolishness God has foolishness. Next slide. Quiet time. I hope we know as men that whereas for us, sex can start and end in 2 minutes. Hello? Hello? Am I talking to myself? Is there any single man here? Can ask me to excuse us. So there are married men in the room. Answer me now. Yes. Is it only me? No. You have been there now? Yes. Bang, 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 push. It was Pastor Aku. Women's conference at Adasa many years ago. You know, I'm in Akmen now, so I say, well, that was a woman. I joined them. He said there are 3 types of sex. There's fast food. There's the one that you say, okay, let's go to Mr. Biggs. You know, you buy the food, you sit down. But usually in Mr. Biggs, you don't waste time there. You see, there's one of, let's go to Sheraton. Is that not so? There's buffet. You know that one you can spend 1 hour eating. He said, in a relationship where you have the major fast food type, the wife is suffering. What it means is that 9 out of 10 is only you that reaches climax. In fact, for some of you here, your wife may not even know what climax is. And so don't be surprised, therefore, that she's not keen on sex. Because as far as she's concerned, you take her, before she gets there, you drop her. So, why should she be interested in it? Are you getting it? it's your responsibility to go and learn. If you don't know what to do, talk to your leaders. Where are the leaders? They must be experts. But on a serious note, all right? Another thing to ask yourself, let me ask you, and please, I'd like to get some answers here. What do you do with your wife, apart from sex, that two of you do together for relaxation or for leisure? Anybody? Just raise your hands and tell me. This is what I and my wife do for relaxation. It's not sex, it's not praying together, it's not Bible study. What else? Anybody? Yes, sir. Massage. Oh, wow. Let's clap for this brother. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Long walk. Bravo. And during that long walk, you are gisting. Sometimes you are praying. Am I right? Good. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Apropos. Okay. All right. All right. I've heard appropriate many other platforms. I don't know what you. By apropos, you mean yes? Any other? The rest of you, am I to assume therefore that nothing is happening? So please, from now on, find something to do together. Are you getting it? You know what happens to us? If we are not deliberate, we grow apart. You lose time we come together in sex. And that's not good enough. Remember, if you remember, you married your friend. Hello? Do you remember? In fact, this is why you want to marry her. We can be gisting for 1 hour. We don't even know that time has gone. Is that not so? Where is that person? What happened to him? What happened to her? Children will leave home. So if you don't do something together now, you just discover you wake up home. Why do you think, here we suffer and smile? Why do you think abroad just hear that after 40 years of marriage, they are divorced? After 30 years, what has happened to them? They've grown apart. In Nigeria, we don't divorce, but we have extramarital affairs. That's all. So if you are not deliberate in bonding with your spouse, just wake up one morning and there's nothing to talk about. All right? Next slide. I think that should be the last. Oh, partnership. Okay? A successful marriage involves being a team and working together. Yes. Support each other's dreams and aspirations. Share responsibility. Make joint decisions. Foster a sense of partnership. Yes. Next slide. I think we're almost home. That's all. Thank you very much. Brethren, that's it. All right. We said a lot. As usual, the one that is for you, I hope you heard. All right? And I hope you take it and do something with it. Questions before we share a word of prayer and I take my leave.
So if it's the woman that has done this and has come to a man to ask for forgiveness, it's easy for women to forgive. So men, let's look into it. That's one thing. But the other thing is that I'm thinking in my head, that kind of disclosure is very important. Can we finish it with our pastor and God and leave it at that? Should it go to the partner? These are things I just want to get clarity on so that we all learn from it.
Okay, sorry. Off my head, full disclosure is what I would advise, but there could be times when that may not be the best way to go. We cannot say that here until we get to that bridge. But for bearing any other situation, full disclosure. Reason is because you know what it feels like to live a fake life? So your wife goes and says, brethren, my husband, I can swear this, that, and you are the one carrying the load. In fact, the guy came to me and said, I'm dying. It's killing me. I'm literally dying. It's as if to say, every time I come to church, you take me and you strip me naked and you hang me on the stick. Meanwhile, just truly, I'm just talking. Are you getting it? He said, a few days ago, my wife was announcing to the whole world that she trusts me. I couldn't take it anymore, sir. That's why I've come forward. You know what I mean? So it depends. Of course, if it's the woman, again, there's nothing God cannot do. One can only pray, like I told him and I said, This is the second time in a recent time that I'm going to have to do this. And I don't like doing it. You know, I don't like doing it. Going to beg. But that's the work that I'm taking on to do. It's not a very good thing at all. Very believe me. You know, it's as if you are the one that committed the thing. You know, because I'm a man. You know, that kind of thing. It's very tough, but you know, all with that. Any other question or comment? Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
I have issue with my wife. I don't usually talk, and I don't like to talk. Persons, I wasn't really mean that. What she like? Don't you like? What do you want me to say? I don't have anything to say because I know myself. If I should open my mouth, everything will scatter. The best thing for me, let me just keep quiet. And she do get angry, but I'm like, this is a normal thing. Why do you want me to talk? Is it a problem, or is it something, or how do I get over it? I don't even know what.
You know, we all always assume that because we have come of age, therefore we are okay on all sides. We are not. You get it? So clearly now, growing up, there was a gap in the place of training in communications. Are you getting it? You won't know how bad this is until you take your child side by side, an American child. That's why you know that communication is a challenge for us. Are you getting it? The American child in 10 minutes would have gotten your biodata, everything, your dossier. The Nigerian child will be respectfully looking down. Are you getting me, sir? So what it says to you is this. So your challenge is, I need to become a better communicator. Are you getting it? Do you work for yourself or you work in an organization? Where do you work? Fidelity Bank. Okay, I don't know about now. Those days, they will train you. Is that not so? And as they are training you to do the work, what happens is that you discover that that training is also following you home. Are you getting this, sir? The ability to communicate is one of the things that if you cannot communicate effectively, you can't get to the top. Never. At best, you will be technical director or head of finance, but you can never be NPCU. Are you getting it? So I think that you've identified a shortcoming. So the question for you now is, how can I become a better communicator? All right? Because that's what you must be for you to really have a relationship. You see, marriage is not about me. Do you get it? If I'm happy with me and you are not happy with me and you are my wife, then I haven't done you good. Are you getting me, sir? Marriage, I know a woman, this thing I said is very serious. I know a woman who, her own problem in life is that her husband does not quarrel. It is so bad that it has become a problem for her. It's almost as if you are living next to a robot. I'm telling you, it's a human being you married. In fact, please let him blow up. 40 years after, he has not yet blown up once. Please blow up. That's a woman's challenge in life. Her husband, nothing moves him. Say, oh, the world is heading tomorrow. Say, Buhari is calling you. Okay. The wife says, I want to jump. Okay. I want to sit down. That's fine. I want to lie down. Okay, now. I want to sit down. That's the relationship. Are you getting me? So my advice to you is work on it. All right? Go and read. All right? Go and study so that you can become a better communicator. Can I ask you a question, sir? Do they make the same complaints in your place of work? Aha. Yeah. You see, sometimes, there's a way our mind works. When this man is at work, his mind says to him, you are at work, you have to do a good job so you can get paid. When he's at home, his mind says to him, here you are the king. Anything you do, nobody can question you. So do as you like. All you need to do, sir, is to take a bit of the you at work and plug it into you at home. You will discover that your relationship will blossom. There's nothing as bad as not being sure what your spouse is thinking. I don't even know when I'm done right. I don't know when you're upset. I don't know when you are happy. It's not a good place to be. All right? Finally, yes.
I want to talk about the testimony on change of lifestyle.
Yes.
I was at a meeting on the 22nd of October last year, Men of Purpose Initiative at Ikoyi, where you mentioned the same thing that you said today about change of diet. Now, I want us to strike a balance. There are people whose lifestyle, you mentioned something that a smoker and someone who is given to drinks, to a drunkard, can live longer, if he's exercising, than someone who
may.
Recently we saw on the social media this actor, Agbako, celebrating his 100 years birthday. And you would imagine, you want to believe that, personally I want to believe that he must have lived a rough life. So for him to have lived up to 100 years, what could be responsible? Talking about change of lifestyle. Now you said you no longer eat rice, no amala, no all sorts. Are you now saying, okay. But are you now saying that I know of people who live over 100 years and they don't steal it down?
Sorry, sir, let me help you. There are people who will, let's face it, the man on the cross, the one that Jesus Christ said today, was he born again? Was he baptized? School of disciples? Was he ordained? Where is he now? How many of you want to take that chance? Are you getting it? Somebody will not come and tell you that, excuse me, let me be a criminal, an armed robber. When I die, I will be Jesus on the cross. That's an exception to the rule. So what I will say to you is this. Don't take my word for it. Go and see the doctor. Are you getting me, sir? Because your home may not be rice. Your home may not be beans. It could be something else. This is my story. The end of that story is each of you go and see your doctor, go and run your test, and then do what is best for you. But I want to say to you that to continue and hope that you will live to be 100 and live a careless life is too risky. Are you with me? It's too risky. We don't know those people's constitution. Some people like that, some people that will eat, what they call it, people that can, what they call them, they can quickly.
Metabolism.
Sorry, what do you call it?
High metabolism.
Thank you very much. High metabolism. Two of us ate in young. I am still heavy at 8 o'clock in the morning. At 10 o'clock, I'm still heavy. You, by 8:30, you are hungry. In fact, as if you didn't eat. That's how your body is. Are you getting it? So don't take a cue from me. Take a cue from me as in, go and do your test. Not take a cue from me as in, that pastor said, doesn't take my head. That's not what I'm asking you to do. But take a cue from me as in, go and do your test. So that you will now know what will work for you based on your genetics. Are you getting it? Your genetical makeup. If in your family they all had hypertension, you don't even need any problem to have hypertension unless you do something about it. Because it's in the genes, DNA. Are you getting me, sir? The point I'm trying to make is this. Don't continue going and assume that all will be well. I wish we could take a look at the GO's life, his lifestyle. Do you think that Daddy has not run tests? If anything at all, the best machines in the world have been plugged into him. Best Manjata, Daddy, thank God for your life. But please, sir, drink water every morning, every afternoon, every evening. And Baba is doing it. But from outside, we're only seeing one part. So my counsel to you is, I'm not saying to you, eat rice or don't eat rice. But I'm saying to you, go and check what is happening inside and then do whatever is required as advised by your doctor to make sure that you are healthy. This is my story. Are you getting it? The only thing that must be common to both of us is that you run your test. And if your test comes back and says, continue with our body, by all means, carry on that body. Are you getting me? If your test comes back and says, our body is okay, roundabout is okay, please carry on. I'm not a doctor. Your body could be built in such a way that it can take it. Are you getting it? My body is not good for that, and I'm adjusting. I think that's the key. Is that okay, sir? Yeah. So I'm not prescribing. I dare not. I'm not a doctor. So I can't prescribe. Are you getting it? But generally speaking, it is known that exercising does good for the body. All right. Not taking alcohol does good for the body. Not smoking does good for the. So at least those ones that we already know. Let's start with that first, and then before we now decide, I will stop this, I will start that, etc., etc. But please check up and know what is happening. Okay? Shall we rise to pray?